younger, what was your family life like?
When I was younger, everybody had a big family in Dimtowns. I came from a family of 14. I had 7 sisters and 6 brothers. We grew up on a farm, and we all had to help out on the farm. In them times there was no, when you were making hay, there was no bales or anything. You had to go out with a pike out into the fields and make a little grass cock, which was a small little bit of hay, and then you'd gather all the grass cocks up together and you'd make a big wine. Also, in Ballyporeen there used to be a fair day once a month. Now I was young, like I barely remember it, where the farmers would bring in their cattle and maybe the women would bring in their baking and stuff, and they'd come into the village, and you know the weigh bridge outside the hall above, that was to weigh the cattle, and whatever weight the cattle, they get so much for the weight, and that would have been once a month, and it was a great day for everyone to get together because they wouldn't meet up so often in them times.
Then, what was your earliest childhood memory?
What is my earliest childhood memory? Let me see now. That was a good question to try to think of something like that. I suppose probably being brought to town, which you wouldn't be brought to town very often in my time. And getting a few sweets and things.
How often would you go to town?
Maybe my mother and my father would go shopping, but sure I wouldn't be brought to town that often.
And how would you get there?
Huh? They had a van. A van.
Would you all in the back?
Huh?
Would you all in the back?
Oh, we would have to. Throw yourself in the bag. Any way you like. There were no seatbelts then. At all.
Would you go to the sweet shop a lot?
No, you would not, because you wouldn't be getting much sweets. There wasn't a big lot of pennies flying around for sweets. I don't think.
What age how did you go to school?
I walked.
And
And often I ran down if I was late.
was there a lot of people in your class?
Were there a lot of people in there? There were. The normal should be the same as any country class, like. They'd be 12, 14, about that. On. There weren't any school buses in my day. We walked to school, down and back home again.
What age did you stop school?
Oh God, we stopped young enough, I'd say. 14 maybe, 14 or so. I only went to primary school, national school. I didn't go to any other school.
What did you do then when you stopped school?
I stayed at home, working with my mummy and daddy.
And did you do like what jobs did you do on the farm?
I used to do every kind of a job. Milking cows, shaving hay, pulling turnips, tinning turnips, anything. Everything and anything.
Did you cut silage?
In my younger days there was no silage, it was all hay.
What kind of football boots would you have had?
And the football boots that time were completely different to now. Would you like to see one?
Okay.
Okay, I'll show you one now, Cahill. Now, see, that was the wood, leather, pure leather, and you see, you had a pad in the ankle.
So you wouldn't get hit in the ankle?
If you got hit in the ankle, it would protect you. You had none on this side, because it was the inner side of it.
Yeah.
And you had on the outer side. So
Protector.
that's the way the soles was. You had 4 cogs up there. Maybe you'd have 4 here. There's one I'm missing. That's an old, very old boot.
Where did you get it?
Well, they were the kind of boots. I had one of the old boots that we wore that time.
Yeah.
They'd last you for a long, long time. and you wouldn't slip as much because the cogs would sink into the ground.
Are the cogs nailed into the boot?
They are. They're nailed into the boot.
Is that a steel cap toe, or is it just hard?
No, just hard. Just hard. Leather.
Super.
She's dried up. She's an old, very old boot. So, would you like to try to wear one of them, Cathal?
To be hard enough, I'd say.
Pardon?
To be hard enough, but I'd say
It would. I wanted that.
they'd last you a lot longer.
Oh, they'd last you a long time. Lot more than what you would now.
Yeah, because like the boots you have now, like you'd wear them for about 3 months and just the leather, like the whatever they're made out of, would just start peeling off.
That's right.
Rather than in those, they'd to just stay together till you actually grow out of them.
That's right. You.
Yeah. What was life like when you were growing up?
It was okay. It was wartime, and it was near enough. When the war was on, what could you do? Nothing. It was okay.
And you?
Well, it was okay, really. But nobody had nothing. Everybody was very poor, so we had to make the best of what we had.
Right. What school did you go to?
I went to a convent in Willesden, London. It was called the Convent of Jesus and Mary.
Yeah, and you?
I went to Napa National School. It was a big old building. We had 2 teachers. One of them was very nice, and the other one was a Hitler.
Right.
She used to send us out to the yard. The Hitler used to send us out to the yard to break off a branch, a small branch of a tree, and when we brought it in, she'd punish us with that branch. She'd make you hold your hand out, and she'd hit you with the branch. And if you pulled it back, she'd turn around the other way and give it to you on the knuckles.
What pastimes did you have?
What?
Pastimes did you have?
Oh, I was a very, 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 very good Irish step dancer, and I had loads of medals for it, and cups, and that was my full-time pastime.
And Grenda?
We used to meet up, the boys going to school in the summertime in the evenings, and do the usual thing, play football and handball and all that, and that was about it.
Nana, what was your life when you were growing up?
It was fairly good. I was born in 1944, started school in 1950. So we had to walk to school every day, 2 miles from Mitchelstown Convent, the Presentation Convent in Mitchelstown. I had to walk to school every day. So.
And Greta, what was yours like?
Mine was just okay. It was tough. We had to walk 3 miles. I started school in 1949, and everyone was poor that time. And we went to school. The minute April came, we went barefoot. We threw off the shoes and we went barefoot.
What was your uniform like?
We had no uniform.
Did you just wear any clothes you wanted?
No, we usually a corduroy pants and a corduroy jacket zip up.
Plains,
So
we had to wear. Once we went into first class, we had to wear a gym frock and a shirt
Oh.
So and then when we got older, we had to wear black dresses with white collars on them and black shoes.
And what was it like without electricity? Do you know,
I remember the electricity came in 1956. It came, and I remember all the men around putting up the poles. Sure, it was, if your mother sent you into the room in the house at the dark, you were afraid. The electricity got rid of all the ghosts, which probably were never there, but you were afraid to go in to a room now, after dark.
Oh, and was it all like candlelit?
Well, it wasn't you had a lamp in the kitchen. You had, what was the name of the lamp we had? It was an Aladdin or something lamp.
All right.
You know, and any of them wouldn't compare with electricity.
And would you all just sit around that, yeah?
Oh, we wouldn't sit around it at all, to be hanging down, like.
Oh, kind of
know.
like a light, but...
It would be like, similar to a light, yes, yeah. That's what it would be like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the electricity, oh my God. I mean, Ireland, it was then Ireland started developing in one sense, like, you know, there was very little there before that, like.
And did it all start happening when electricity came?
Well, an awful lot of things did. No, there was a lot going on before that. Mitchelstown was it was developing away the whole time and it was doing very good, like, you know. Yeah.
What were some of your childhood memories?
As what?
Is there anything, like, if you remember anything?
I remember my mother baking bread in the vestibule over the open fire. And it used to be lovely, lovely bread.
Like much nicer than it is today?
Well, you wouldn't get it in the open fire in the vestibule today.
Yeah.
And you put the the turf up on the cover of the vestibule.
And you used to take long?
It would take, a cake would take about a half an hour.
All right, so
Yeah.
the same length, kind of.
Yes, that would be it, you know. And for every Saturday, then my mother would bake a cake and she'd put an egg in it and maybe a cup of sultanas or raisins.
Okay.
Yeah, and she'd bake that in the vestibule as well. And anyone then that had come in of a Sunday would get a cut of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was it, like, you know.
How did you contact friends when you had a match?
We used to contact them through going to school and training and after lesson with Sunday and things like that.
How many classes were in each classroom?
I think there must have been 4 in each class going right upstairs and downstairs.
Pretty big then.
Yes, they were a good crowd of us now.
Noisy?
Mm-hmm.
Very noisy?
Not with the teachers, but they kept us under control.
What did you have for lunch?
We'd have a jam sandwich and a bottle of milk. That's about what we could afford to have.
What age did you leave school at?
I left school at around 13. I went working. Because that time our parents hadn't the money to give us one anyhow, so when we got work, we went to work.
So, Nana, how far were you from school?
We were about 2.5 miles from school, going around by the roads, and 1.5 to 2 miles going across the fields.
Closer than you thought.
Yes.
How did you travel to school?
We walked to school when we were young, and by the time we got to 4th class, they thought we were old enough to have a bicycle, so then we cycled to school.
Made our journey
shorter.
I imagine that school is very different nowadays.
School was different, but it was okay. But we all walked to school, and a crowd of us were going together. Your next door neighbour all your neighbours along the road would all wait, and we'd all go to school together. So there'd be quite a number of people going together to school. And teachers were fine. We had to collect sticks on our way to school, and some of them were used for to give us a slap, but most of them were used to light a fire. There was a fire in each classroom. There were just 2 classrooms, fire in each classroom, and we had to get sticks to light the fire, and it was mostly sticks that were used in the fire because there was no coal or turf there at that stage.
Did you ever get a slap?
I did get plenty of them. I did. You got a slap if you missed the questions. But the teacher, one teacher gave slaps. There was the teacher with small pupils. But the other teacher never gave a slap, but she kept us in after school if we had something wrong in our lessons.
And what was television? Did you have one when you were young?
Television? No, there was no television, but I remember when we got our first television, I would say maybe 6 or 7. and the television came in. Sure, it was great excitement. We thought it was like being at the pictures, but the televisions then were in black and white. You had no colour on it. It was all the pictures were just black and white. So I remember my father used to watch a lot of westerns, cowboys and Indians and all that kind of thing.
And what kind of shops did they have in down in Bally?
There was a lot of shops in Bally, a lot of sweet shops, small sweet shops, and there were a few bigger shops as well. I suppose I could remember maybe 7, 8 shops, definitely 7. People would come in like that on a Sunday in for mess. There was no mess on Saturday night, it was mess on Sunday. And they'd come in and they'd get their messages for the week. And then I suppose maybe once or twice a year, if you wanted something that wasn't available in the village, you'd go to Mitchelstown or Clonmel.
When did you go on your first holiday?
Huh?
When did you go on your first
Oh,
holiday?
God almighty, when... Oh, well, no. I didn't have any holidays, I'd say. So I did once. I went down to... I remember it well. I went down with my sister-in-law down to Kerry for a week or two. Down to Listowel.
To the races?
Ah, well, no, not for the races. We just went down. Her people were from Listowel. And I went down with her for a couple of weeks. But I was going to my aunt and for a week or two. Because that was a big thing that time.
What age did you get married?
25.
And did you get married below Belly or Narrabeen?
No, in Ballyporeen.
And what priest married you?
Father Wall. And I'm sure I'm certain we were the first couple he married. I think, as far as I remember, after he come into Ballyporeen, I think that we were the first.
But did you
ones that he married. Huh?
Did you have a double wedding?
We did, with granddad's sister. We did. It's a long time ago.
What was your favourite dinner?
Bacon and cabbage was my favourite dinner because there wasn't much else there at that time, because every family that time, they were self-sufficient. They grew their own potatoes, they had their own cabbage and carrots and parsnips.
Was there any meats like beef and stuff?
They used to keep pigs, and we killed maybe a pig every year.
What?
And maybe in that time when we were to Mitchelstown that time, in the donkey and care, my mum would bring home maybe a bit of boiling beef for Sunday, and that would be it for the week again until the following week.
And then you got another piece, was it?
Yeah, Sunday morning we might have sausages. We might 5 pound of sausages. There was a lot of us there, so they wouldn't go far. There were 8 of us in the family.
Everyone had their own hens.
Everyone had their own hens that time.
Yeah.
You know, you really were.
Loads of eggs, and we had 4 cows, and but we had no land. We used to graze the cows along the side of the road, and they'd go off and they'd come back in the evening, and we'd milk them by hand.
Compared to now that they have all these big meat deliveries. Nana, what was your favourite dinner?
Much the same as Granddad's, We used to grow everything ourselves as well, but I just like lettuce too, and onions, we grow the onions and all. But when we had it, we'd have meat most, I suppose, like that now again for Sunday,
And what size hurley did you have?
The hurley I had, there was a small boss in it. If it lift up there, will you bring it down to me? That good. No, it was a hurley I played matches with. See, the boss was a small boss. They weren't a big boss like now. And they were hurleys that time. In my time, were 36 inches long.
How
most
come
of them
that was?
now are 32 inches, you see. And the grain, you can see the way the grain is. The grain in the...
Kind of like slips down, kind of goes,
That's the
turns
way
and
it
goes
is. That's
straight.
right. That's right. Even when I played in goals, that was all they used. There's no need of a big boss.
Yeah.
Because when you're stopping the ball, you put the centre.
Yeah, kind of like
ball.
rather than kind of like the corners.
That's right, you're right there.
Because if you hit it with the corners, it'll just hit the corner there and just go into the goals.
That's right, that's right. You put the centre of the, so that's an old hurley.
What would have happened if you broke the hurley?
You get another hurley. You know, you get another hurley.
Where did you kind of like actually get the hurley from? Or can you remember?
Well, in my younger days, my father used to make the hurley for me. They weren't great hurleys, but they'd make him anyway for you because you couldn't buy him that time.
So you'd have to make him yourself?
You would make him yourself. So.
Would it have been hard to find the timber to make it, or would it just be?
No, you'd get the ash growing on the side of a ditch, you see, and you'd dig all around it then and you cut it out. So they get the spoke shave and away they go.
They start cutting it.
That's right.
Makes into that basically.
A lot of the hurlers made their own hurleys. Well, before my time even. You know, they shaped them out, kind of hurley they'd like. That was it.
Yeah.
Hurled away every evening and...
Yeah. Did you have any grips on the hurley, or would it just be the...
No, just the plain, there was no grips that time. No grips. It was in later years the grips came on.
Where would you have got the band of the hurley?
The band, they were usually put on by a hurley maker for you.
So you just kind of asked the hurley maker, can you put the
That's right.
band on my hurley?
Well, if you broke, when you're playing with a team, you'd have a fairly good hurley and you'd have a spare one. So they'd hook the hurley for you, and that was that. See, they were able to rendezvous nice and tight.
So
and they'd often have a second hoop. They'd have another hoop across here.
So it wouldn't kind of break as easily?
Oh God, no, it wouldn't. And when you get a hurley, you wouldn't, you'd always have an older hurley, a seasoned hurley, because a fresh hurley that was after being made would break a lot quicker. Two boys clash, and
snaps.
The hurley was gone. So that was that. That was it.
What did you do for entertainment?
Well, we had to make our own entertainment. There was no television, no nothing. You just went out and met your friends and done the ordinary. There was no such thing as television or anything like that, and you just got on with life.
And Granny?
My father and my mother were very musical, and we had a radio, and I used to listen to Radio Luxembourg, like everybody else used to do at that time.
And when you came home from school, what activities did you do?
Oh. Well, of course, if you were in a farm, you worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you milk cows.
And what did you do if you didn't have a farm?
Well, you do. No, everyone had a garden. And there was carrots and parsnips and onions, and you grew everything, potatoes and turnips and cabbage.
So not like it is today, you'd usually like go into Aldi or Super Value
you
to
would.
buy a head of
But
cabbage.
if you were cooking the dinner that time, you got a bucket and you went down, you dug the spuds.
Oh, it's probably much healthier than what we eat today.
It probably was, and you pulled the carrots and you cut the cabbage and all them things.
Yeah.
And that was it, that's what you done. And of course all summer was taken saving hay.
Oh, was it?
Oh my God. And the bad weather.
And it used to be like torture, yeah?
Hmm?
Trying to get all the hay and with
Oh,
the
you'd be
bad
trying
weather.
to get, you couldn't get hay in a bad weather. But my God, the worst that was in hay. And you might get rained in and it was the same thing over again.
Oh.
And you turned them with pikes, like.
Oh, it used to take ages.
There was there was machines there and at them, but after that then they got reasonably plentiful. Tractors got, you know, and then you'd get a machine for a tractor, but mostly all horses in my time.
So there was no tractors?
Well, they were scarce, very scarce. You don't much cars there in my time even, grown up.
And did the horse just do everything then?
The horse done everything.
And
I remember my mother, God, with a beautiful, she was a grey mare, and she could tackle up that mare and off into Mitchellstown with the trap.
Oh.
Honest to God.
And was it fun riding the horse?
Was it what?
Fun. Going on.
I don't know about the fun. You had a trap car. You didn't ride the horse. You know, you had on the horse.
On the back of it.
Yeah, on the back, yeah. That was it. And you went to the creamery, of course, with a horse.
Yeah, to bring your milk.
To bring your milk to the creamery. And you didn't know everything you had to plough. And I remember my father having to cut the hay with a horse. You know, and at the end of the day, you'd have to take out one of the horses to rest them and put in another one.
Oh, did you have a couple of horses like?
Oh, they had 3 or 4 of them, you know, in them times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How long was your school day?
Our school day started at 9 o'clock and finished at 3 o'clock.
Shorter than ours. What age did you start school at?
I started school at 6 years of age.
What age were you when you were allowed to go to a dance?
I was 14 years when they allowed me to go to a dance.
Were they good dances?
They were very good dances. We had great fun.
Did you ever sneak out to a dance?
No, we were too far away for us as girls to sneak out at 14 years of age. It would be more than our life was worth to sneak out.
What age did you leave school?
I left school at 14. And then I went on to work for a teacher in the teacher's house.
Was there many cars on the road at that stage?
No, there were no cars at all. Only the doctor had a car. Petrol was very scarce. It wasn't possible to get petrol at that particular time. But anyway, nobody had cars in any case. They had what mode of transport was, pony and trap, and quite a few people go to town once a week or once every 2 weeks to get extra, like tea and sugar, or things that you had to go to Mitchelstown to get.
Did you have a pony and trap?
We had a pony and trap, that's right. My mother always drove the pony and trap. So.
What did you do for fun?
We usually watched. The bigger boys would be playing football and hurling and things like that, and we had a field quite near us that was called the football field, and they played games, and they played hurling or football, and we watched them mostly.
What were the biggest changes in your lifetime?
Oh, the biggest changes, of course, was the electricity when it came first in the late 1950s, and people didn't get. Quite a few people wouldn't take the electricity because they thought it was too dangerous and it would set fire to the house. But after a little while, then people decided it was okay, so they got in the electricity, and then after that it was all electrical stuff like televisions and radios and everything. There's computers now at this stage, that's all. It took a long time to have them come to the countryside.
Would you have liked to travel outside Ireland?
Well, it would be nice to see other countries and the heat.
The heat, yeah. And the cold.
And no, I wouldn't go to any cold. We're cold enough here in this country.
it'd be freezing out in like, well, Canada, isn't that like really warm in the summer and really cold
Yes,
in
it
the
is,
winter?
and very cold in the winter time, yeah.
Yeah.
It is, -40, I believe.
Yeah, it's
Well,
really
no,
cold.
that wouldn't be for me.
No.
It would kill me.
Yeah.
Yes, but no, our winters are gone milder even.
Yeah, it's actually not too bad, and like it didn't really snow much this year.
Oh no, we haven't seen heavy falls of snow for years. I remember back in 1947, my God, there was no day got to save the hay.
Oh.
No day. And then, oh Jesus, it was a disaster. Oh, it was a complete disaster. One day came out in October.
Oh, and were you really busy that day?
Oh, she got you well, but the hay was gone at that stage. You know.
Yeah. And has the weather like changed much?
Much. The climate have become milder. And we don't get that amount of snow.
Yeah.
And of course the silage is an awful advantage. Oh my God, it changed farming completely. You know, if you were cutting hay that time, you'd be cutting hay, you'd be very early if you're cutting hay the 29th of June.
Whoa.
Oh, very early. And that'd be it, but sure, it is completely, silage have farming changed completely.
All right.
Yes, it has. That is it. And houses are better, and they're not as damp. You don't know, because you have very damp climate, but houses and heating is much better, and fire. Well, there was always fires there because everything was done in the open fire. The potatoes were boiled, and meat was boiled, and carrots and parsnips and all them things. And you had a turf fire, and you brought out a bit at the side of the fire. Then, do you know an open fire?
Yeah.
And you when you put on the potatoes, you'd boil away the meat, and the cabbage would boil away at the side.
All right.
Yes, they would. And she shut her grand. It was all potatoes.